Hello and welcome to the gorgeous Blue Cross Centre here at Burford. Now I'm joined by Blue Cross team member Claire. So Claire, in this video we're going to be chatting a little bit about the flight instinct. So first of all, what is the flight instinct?
Yeah, so the flight instinct is the horse's response to get away from something that they find scary. So they run and they just try and get as far away from something as they can.
And why is it important for us to think about them having a flight instinct like this?
So when the horses were in the wild, they obviously have to look out for danger and to run away from things so that they don't get eaten. So if they hear like a bush rustle, for example, they would run, just in case there was a predator in there. And obviously it's a survival instinct, so it's just, yeah, get away from things.
And with them being a prey animal, when we're entering the field with them and we're handling them and going near them, is it important for us to act a little bit differently?
Yeah, so we just need to be aware of it so that they can be easily spooked, and like I say, they like to run and get distance from something, so it's just being aware of that if there's something spooky around. So the flight response can come out in many ways. It can be that they bolt or they spook, or they could pull back away from something. It's just their way of getting away from something scary.
So Claire, when people are riding horses, they might experience things such as bucking, bolting, maybe even rearing. And rather than just saying the horse is naughty, you're telling me it's probably or could be a result of the flight response.
Yeah, so as we discussed earlier, horses are have adapted to respond to things that they perceive as a threat. So using the flight response to get away from something that they're finding scary, and they have better hearing than us, so it might be that they've heard something in the bush and that you haven't, and that's what they're reacting to.
And when riding the horses then, are there certain things we can do to try and mitigate these circumstances?
Yeah, so there's things we can do in our training that can help to cope with these things. So maybe we could go and have a look now, and I can show you some things.
Perfect.
Okay, so when we start training, we usually start from the ground, and then this can progress on to ridden work. So we're looking at trying to help with his flight response. So at the moment he's not actually running away, but he is curious about the umbrella and a little bit worried about it. So some of the things that we would do to help with the flight response is to teach our horses to slow their legs and step back. So the reason we ask for a step back and to slow them down is because it uses the opposite muscles to the muscles that they use when they're running. So that just helps deactivate the flight response and get them to just to hopefully calm down a little bit. The other thing we do is we teach them park, and again it's all about controlling the legs. So the slower the legs go, the less flight response you will get from that. One of the other things we use a lot is a wither scratch, because a wither scratch has been proven to lower the heart rate by up to 10 beats per minute, and this can just help bring everything back down so they don't feel so fearful, and you hopefully have a nice calm horse so you can progress with your training. So once we've trained on the ground, we would progress to ridden work. And Grace is giving him a scratch now, so we know he's fairly calm with the umbrella at this point. But just to test that he's not completely switched off and he's still paying attention, Grace is going to ask him for a step back. So obviously she applies rein pressure, but as soon as he steps back, she releases that pressure so that he knows that that was the right response. So, and all of this helps with the flight response because, like we said before, it's just using different muscles to the actual flight response muscles where they're going forward at speed. Just helps control their legs, go a little bit slower to help just bring them back down to calm again.
So Claire, as you've been pointing out, acknowledging the importance of the flight instinct when training the horses is crucial.
Yes, so we want to keep everybody safe, and so recognising that they could be flighting from something they're scared of is really important, because then we can deal with it. And like we've shown in some of the training, if you can get them used to like a wither scratch or the step back, and just disengaging that flight response can help us, especially if we're out hacking or something and they see something scary. If we also know with horses that if you let them stop and look at something they find scary for around about 13 seconds, it might be a bit longer with some horses, but their curiosity starts to take over, and then they may want to approach the object to see what it is.
And I'm guessing then this process becomes less and less and less the more you get them to deal with stressful situations.
Yes, exactly. So getting them used to what you want to do. So you, like I say, they give a wither scratch, for example, and when they get used to that, you'll find that a wither scratch gets them calmer, quicker each time you do it. And yeah, it just builds their confidence then for any situation that you may want to put them in.
So if people are at home really wanting to start training their horses to deal with their flight instincts a little bit better, what would be the main two things you want them to think about?
I think definitely teaching a wither scratch, because that will lower the heart rate and that will just help bring them back to calm again. And like I say, also it's controlling the speed of the legs, because when a horse is in flight response, they like to go as fast as they can. So if you can just control the legs and slow them down a bit, it just keeps everything a little bit more under control.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Claire. I feel like I've learned so much, and I'm certainly be going back to my own horses and really monitoring their own flight responses about things.